Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a hot minute since I've done a video. As some of you guys may know, I recently got out of the Army and my husband and I moved from Maryland to Florida, but we're all settled in now. So I'm excited to get back on track with the videos and hopefully put a video out at least once a week. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that I post more on my Instagram than over here on YouTube. So if you guys want to see more looks, make sure that we're connected over there. It's at claudia.sedano, and I'll also link that below. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've been experimenting more with super bright colors, and because of that, I've actually kind of changed the way I do my eyeshadow. I don't use this method all the time, but I use this method when I'm using really bright colors and I don't want to get them too high up. So I use this method to kind of keep it a little bit more defined and below the eyebrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to prep my face first. You guys know I'm all about that sample life, so this is the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base. I really like it. I found that, you know, primers that don't feel as silicone-y, I just like the texture better. So this one is kind of in between. It's not super like matte, but it doesn't have that overly silky feel that I don't enjoy anymore. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and do eyes first. I do already have my eyebrows done, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use concealer and I'm gonna put it on my eyelids. This is in lieu of an eye primer. I just find that the colors that I apply afterwards just pop way more. They're way more vibrant, and yeah, basically. Another thing that I do different is I don't set the concealer. A lot of people out there, they will set the concealer with translucent powder, but I find that I like it better without setting it. And for this, I would definitely recommend maybe using a thicker concealer that's not too watery. So typically, people apply their eyeshadow using the lighter crease shades, the transition shades, I mean, and then they go in with the lid color. I actually go in with the lid color first. So I'm going to be using this gorgeous shade. I will open this up so you guys can see. It is by 1675 Cosmetics and it's called Calendula Blue. I'm trying to show you guys without tipping it, or without spilling it, I mean. It's really a super vibrant pigment. You don't really need to use a whole lot of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is my Sigma E40 brush, and I'm just going to dip into the pigment just a little bit. And I'm going to tap off any excess that I have. You guys can see like that blue is gorgeous. And I'm just going to start working that in my crease. So I wouldn't say I have super hooded lids or anything, but I do have like two folds, one after the other. And this is another reason why I like to do this, because it helps me control the shadow more without going overboard and blending everything near my eyebrow area. So I really am a huge fan, and I'm sure some of you guys know, of indie brands. There's something about buying from, you know, a smaller business instead of a huge organization. And this pigment in particular, my friend makes them. And you know, she makes everything by hand with love, so I will make sure to link her website down there as well. And another thing that I recently picked up from one of my favorite Instagram accounts, P. Louise Makeup Academy, is that they don't blend in windshield wiper motions, they blend in circles. And they use the brush to tickle the skin, so you're not applying a whole bunch of pressure, you're doing little circle motions, barely touching the skin, and that helps to blend it. Then I'm going to go into the other eye and start building that blue up on this side as well. I have personally never seen a pigment quite like this one. It's just a really, really pigmented, striking matte blue. If you guys don't have this color in your collection, it's definitely a must, for me at least. I would definitely recommend it. I'm just going back in on this side and building up the blue more. I think blue is my favorite color actually. And I'm not going to dip into the blue anymore on this side. I'm just using what's already on my brush, what's already on my eyeball, and I'm just going to blend it out a little bit more. I'm going to take, I think, this dark, really dark brown, and I'm going to place it above the blue just so that it's not such a huge transition from the oranges to the blue. This is the Morphe M562. It's super, super, super duper duper precise and perfect for working in the crease. It's just, I can't say enough good things about this brush. It's definitely a brush that I use for every single look that I do. So I'm gonna dip into that dark brown that I showed you guys, and I'm gonna place it above where I put the blue. And it's just gonna darken it up a little bit. And I know everything looks like really like harsh and unblended, but we're getting there, guys. So as you guys can see, this eyeshadow process is definitely way different than how most people do their eyeshadow. I just feel like it helps me more to kind of make sure all the colors shine through it and they're not just all blended together. Okay, next we're going to do the lightest shade. So I'm going to take this orange right here, and I'm just taking it with a BH Cosmetics brush. I really, really love BH Cosmetics brush. I'll make sure to link them down below. This is basically the marker for how high I want my shadows to go. So after this color, no more colors. And that's why I like this method, this eyeshadow method, even though it's backwards. It just helps me control where exactly everything is. Because I feel like when I do it the other way, you know, the traditional crease color first, everything gets muddled. Another tip definitely is make sure you're using different brushes for each color. That way, you know, all the colors don't get mixed up. Alright, then we're going to dip into a darker orange, and we're going to place that below where we just placed the brighter orange. I think I'm going to do this orange right here on the top. And I'm placing that below. I'm going to take another one of my samples. I think this is a deluxe sample actually. Like a highlighter in Opal, and I'm going to put that on my inner corners and a little bit on the brow bone as well. For this I am going to use some setting spray just to make it really pop. Next, I'm going to curl my eyelashes and then pop on some lashes. Next, we're going to use some Icon eyelashes. this brand does really dramatic eyelashes. I'm sure they might have some natural ones, I just don't pick those. But they have some really good lashes if you really want dramatic lashes. And I do have a 30% off code. You don't have to use it if you don't want. I'm just putting it out there if you want to save a little bit of money. Just gonna put some lash glue on these, and then you can pop them on after 30 seconds about. I'm just using my tweezers to kind of force my natural lashes and the fake lashes to get along. Next we're gonna do our face, and I didn't wet my beauty blender, but it's okay. We're just gonna use some setting spray because I'm not getting it right now. So I have dark pigmentation around my lips, which is a joy to deal with. Not really. So I'm gonna use some orange color corrector, and I'm gonna place that all around my mouth. And we're gonna blend it in. Then we're gonna go in with foundation. I'm gonna use the Jouer High Coverage Cream Foundation. I know I did like swatches, that was my last video, but after that video I didn't really use it until about last week. It was in the back of my foundation drawer, and I don't know why I stopped using it. I really like it. So I'm gonna do this with the beauty blender. It is super full coverage, so I liked using it with the beauty blender because I find with the brush it's like super duper full coverage, and I'm like, whoa girl. Also, I heard that they are completely expanding the range now. Not just a few darker shades, but they're doing way more shades, so that's good to hear. Foundation is done, and then we're just going to do a little bit of concealer. I just use the tiniest amount because some people really like a bright under eye, and I'm not one of those people. I just feel like it looks super unnatural on me. I mean, not that this doesn't look unnatural or anything, but you know what I mean. It's just a little, I don't like it too bright. Just a little brightening, so I don't look totally dead, you feel me? The awesome thing about this foundation is I don't need to set anything besides my under eyes. So my face is done. I just need to set it with some Laura Mercier setting powder. Just taking a little bit to set that so it doesn't crease. Then I'm gonna do, I kind of recently discovered this. I don't know if anyone else that's my skin tone uses it, but it's using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish as a bronzer. I use the shade Dark Deepest. It looks really dark in the pan, but once you apply it, it looks much better. And the thing that I like about this is that it's not too cool tone, not too warm, and it doesn't get muddy. Like, no matter how much you apply. And I press it in instead of going right in and buffing it out because I use less. I didn't feel like going all out and doing all the cream contouring and everything. Just a little bronzer to warm everything up a little bit. This pore brush has been through some things, but this is the BH Cosmetics V2 brush. It's their vegan line, or their vegan set. It's the silver ones. I use this for everything. I use this for my face, for bronzer. Probably should get another one of these soon, because this one is starting to look a little rough. Just doing some on my nose, and then my forehead, and that's it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to finish off my eyes. So I'm just going to bring the shadows that I had up here and bring them down underneath my eye, starting with the orange first. Then with the brighter orange that we used, we're going to put that above where we've applied the other orange. Just kind of blend those two together. And last but not least, we're going to go in with that blue closest to the lash line. And I kind of just flatten it. I could just use a flash brush, that would be much smarter, but I don't know where I put that brush, so we're going to make this work. Then I'm just going back with the orange and just kind of blending it out a little bit more. We're just going to take some mascara and apply it on bottom lashes. Then just the lip, and then we're done. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade 22. And that's the final look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little how-to on how and why I sometimes do my eyeshadow process backwards. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and then click the bell notification so that you're notified when I do future videos. Also, don't forget to connect with me over on Instagram. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.